Canada's magnificent forests, an ocean of trees that scrape the sky and stretch out from coast to coast. A living, breathing storehouse of plants and animals that provide a wealth of resources for our survival and well-being. Canadians simply love our forests and want to keep them forever. There's a lot to love. Canada holds 10% of the world's forest cover and 30% of all boreal forest. That's more than 400 million hectares of forest and other woodland. 4 million Canadians live and work in the forests. Some 900,000 hectares are harvested every year. But that's less than 1% of the land available for commercial forest activities. That's partly because of Canada's forest laws. An independent study by Yale University Associate Professor Benjamin Kishore shows that Canada has emerged as a world leader in aggressively improving its practices in sustainable forest management.
There's no question that the Canadian industry has been highly proactive on forest certification efforts. The Canadian forest products industry is extremely innovative in requiring all of its companies to be certified according to one program or the other on its forest lands.
Canada's forest sector has made sweeping changes to the way it operates. There are new methods of managing ecosystems to ensure they support healthy wildlife populations. Biodiversity must, by law, be protected. Rivers and streams must be buffered from tree cutting. Special consideration must be made for soils so that they're not eroded. Roads and bridges must be constructed to high standard to ensure that there's no damage to fish habitats. Communities are involved in every region, from coastal rainforests to the boreal northlands. It means that people talk to governments and industry about how they want the forest developed and preserved. The public values its right to influence what goes on in their forests. Canadians are heard directly through a variety of public participation programs set up by provincial governments. A number of provinces have enacted Forest Protection Acts that channel public input to shape the highest standard for forest sustainability in the world. In short, ethical forest decisions must incorporate the views of all Canadians and respect Aboriginal and treaty rights. Canada openly welcomes other countries to compare.
The Forest Professionals Code of Ethics is that we're not only responsible to what we do and ethical in what we do, but we're responsible to the public, which is really key. We're also responsible to our employer and to our clients. And we're responsible to the land to make sure that what we're doing is good for now and for the future.
20 years ago, Canada became the first country in the world to develop a national forest strategy under the direction of the Canadian Council of Forest Ministers. The strategy guides Canadians in ongoing work to sustainably manage forests. The values addressed include timber, wildlife habitat, water quality, recreation, and biodiversity. Forests are part of the people. They have played a huge role in the European settlement of Canada and its development into a great nation. Forests are essential to our health and to the health of the world. Forests produce fresh air, filter water, store carbon, and safely house plant and animal species. Canadians understand the richness of this legacy and our global responsibility. Canada's state-of-the-art harvesting techniques mirror its improved standards of practice. A common method that is right for Canada is clear cutting. It's suited to the ecology of most forest sites in Canada, with results similar to natural disturbances such as wildfire or windstorms. Other harvesting techniques, such as shelter wood or retention systems, are used when there is a need to maintain a wildlife habitat or to protect scenic vistas. About 1/5 of Canada's logs and pulpwood come from private woodlots and forests. They also provide, under provincial guidelines, maple sugar, fuel wood, and Christmas trees. And let's not forget fun and recreation. Canada is a trading nation. Forest products are big business, crucially important to this country's economy. Exports are valued now at more than $44 billion a year. In 2004, Canada exported more forest products than any country in the world. The forest industry employs 920,000 people. That's almost 6% of Canada's entire workforce. Amazingly, the industry's footprint is smaller than ever because companies must return cut sites to healthy forest After all, forest-related tourism is also a multi-billion-dollar industry in Canada. Canada's forests are diverse. They sustainably produce a wide range of quality products, including softwood lumber, newsprint, wood pulp, and engineered wood products. Those wood products are backed by a national grading and standards system. So house builders from Tokyo to Rotterdam know the great qualities of Canadian wood. Our biggest export markets are the United States, Japan, the European Union, and China. With so many customers around the world, it's no wonder that Canada has the highest amount of land certified to voluntary, market-based forest certification programs. That means buyers of Canadian wood know the product comes from forests that are managed on sound environmental practices. The three systems used in Canada are the Canadian Standards Association, the Forest Stewardship Council, and the Sustainable Forestry Initiative. By January 2006, Canada had about 120 million hectares of land certified by third-party auditors. That's an area more than twice the size of France, and it's growing every year. Certification is all important in today's user market. One of Canada's largest lumber customers is Mitsui Homes, Japan's biggest home builder.
Canada, so there are bountiful forest resources, and it's well managed, and it's certified by a sustainable forest management program.
It is the power of the consumer that drives the wood market. More and more, those consumers want to buy from companies that practice good forest management. That means certification. And Canada is clearly the world leader in third-party certified wood. Our products represent the best environmental choice for customers around the world. Canada achieves this through cutting-edge scientific research. Our scientists study the physiology of old-growth forests. New solutions are being sought for pest control. As well, researchers are developing new technologies for fast-growth forests and innovative approaches to regeneration. Our pulp and paper industry is a global leader in waste paper recovery and has had remarkable success in reducing energy costs and greenhouse gas emissions. Wildfire plays a critical role in the natural life of the forests. But when fire has to be fought, Canada has state-of-the-art capabilities. Every year, fires burn millions of hectares of trees, threatening people and property. Canada's Eye in the Sky, RadarSat, provides firefighting teams with remote sensing data to locate and identify burning fires at low cost. RadarSat also provides researchers with detailed images, such as this one, from the firestorm surrounding Kelowna, British Columbia in 2003. Canada's leadership in sustainable forest management goes far beyond its own borders. Canada is a founding member of the Montreal Process. It was created in 1994 to implement internationally negotiated rules on the conservation of temperate and boreal forests. Canada is also an active participant in the United Nations Forum on Forests, which promotes the sustainable development of all types of forests. One example of Canada's true diversity is the Model Forest Program, which fostered the International Model Forest Network. The program is a living laboratory where new ideas emerge in forest management. Model Forests brings together organizations with diverse views on how forests should be managed. In a spirit of collaboration, they develop innovative approaches to sustainability. For example, the Foothills Model Forest Program is studying the effects of development on grizzly bears to ensure they have the habitat they need. More than 800 Aboriginal communities are located in Canada's forests. More than 1 million hectares of reserved lands are suitable for forestry, hunting, trapping, and fishing. Over the past decade, some 1,700 forestry projects have been funded by the First Nations Forestry Program. It helps combine new concepts and technologies with traditional skills. One example of innovation in this area is the partnership with Aboriginal people, which ensures that ecosystem-based forestry is practiced on the ground in northern Labrador. The Innu Nation and the Newfoundland and Labrador Department of Natural Resources have formed a unique partnership to implement a strategic forest management plan that will help to enhance cross-cultural understanding and traditional knowledge of Newfoundland and Labrador's ecosystems.
We have just the same decision-making power as the province does. in the kind of forest management that occurs. So that means deciding how much harvesting, deciding annual allowable cuts, that's normally left to provincial governments. We have a say in that. Deciding on the kind of research projects that are undertaken in our area. It's a unique partnership, and it allows us to really have a say in the kind of management that occurs, and it ensures that our culture will live forever.
Sustainable forest management means all the stakeholders, including industry, are on the same page.
One example of an association we've been pushing is third-party certification, which basically bring together all those values related to water conservation, wildlife habitat conservation, forest management, forest regeneration, and so on. And third-party certification is a condition of membership.
Canada's sustainable forests are supported by world-class management practices. We've learned to protect our forest land, to study it, to harvest it, and to regenerate it. Canadians are sensitive to biodiversity. We prize all the creatures that live amongst the trees. We've set standards and certification that are second to none. We've listened to our own people and heard the voices of experts in other nations. But most of all, Canadians have listened to their hearts. We love our forests. We're keeping them so everyone can benefit and enjoy.